I don't know how to open this video this time, so I'm just gonna get going as we get into, as we see an at Scar's run, which, hey, finally pretty normal. I mean, we've had some quote-unquote normal runs, but, there were some bumpy ones, even though they weren't Zictast and whatnot, but we are playing another character. I think, even if I've repeated the character, just bear with me. I'm pretty sure I feel like I have played this character. But anyway, as we get into at Scar's custom character once more, we get Army Knife and Funds, I believe. So, yeah, this is a pretty good start. 4 Strength, 5 Dexterity, 6 Perception, 6 Knowledge, 8 Charisma, and maybe a Luck check? I'm going crazy. I'm a bit tired. Takshisan Strength, 2nd Encounter, 2nd Mystery, Charisma, and maybe Dexterity. I think we'll be fine here. Yeah, we could also run Ally Attack if we want. 8 Charisma, somewhat perfect, but I don't know what this character, I don't know if this character's perk pack, so off we go. But one thing I can talk about just really quickly in this video, or might become the topic of conversation, we'll see what I happen to do in the next minute or so. Future Jordan will also figure out, but as we have figured out, as we get Mermaids, Botanist, Footage, Rental, and Colt. But I'm gonna so we have the thing for today. So, yeah, we would have done Orphan if it weren't for the fact that we have 2 custom mysteries. I mean, yes, I said I was going to try to prioritize them, but we'll add in newer mysteries. We'll basically try to feature only 1 per episode, and the reason for that is so that I don't overload. But Mermaid Botanist, yeah, Mermaid Botanist Footage, we'll say feet for the sake of robots, funny enough, of the 2 words at the end of that phrase there, and then Colt. But first and foremost, let's get the worse mysteries out of the way. Question mark. Gameplay wise, I think worse. We'll see what happens because this is my first time actually playing feet. Man, phrases. But as we get the wooden bat, and then we don't need to grab anything else, but we'll find out. What was the history club instead? Basically, I'm using all of the thingamajiggies. I'm using all of the Doom I would have spent getting weapon, doing other stuff. But 10% Doom is enough for now. And I'm itchy on my shoulder, but let's vending machine really quickly as well. So, yeah, 4 fun cigarettes will deal, police station, and off we go. This is quite a lot of Doom. If you just want to walk forward and start getting onto your investigations, that's perfectly fine. I just like getting cigarettes, and then I like looking at History Club, and then I like preparing just so that I can open up funds. So, yeah. 1 fun for 5 experience. We have a maxed level village and downtown, which we put patrols in, excuse me. And yeah, we'll figure it out. Again, footage, probably into botanist, into feet. That's the intended order. And the main reason for that, as we take frostbite in the face and have to get rid of it, is that just in case there's a boss fight. Again, I have not played feet yet, so shrug. Again, just in case there are any boss mysteries. Though that being said, again, getting rid of botanist and footage removes any roads closed tragedies as quickly as possible. Also pain here, but we'll deal. I think I might want to throw the wooden bat. Yeah, I'm going to throw the wooden bat just to save on a bit more Doom. That being said, I've started runs with 21% Doom because of the weapon preparation, so shrug. Could be a lot worse. Confront the person, get luck. This character has 8 luck. But yeah, anywho, moving on. So as we kind of just autopilot for the rest of these encounters. So what I wanted to talk about this video was the topic of basically making art, if that makes any sense. And the obvious reason is because of game development. But just in general, just my interest in doing art. Also, why am I bracing there, by the way? How much damage do I get per? Okay, maybe I might need to do a gamble here. Yeah, 90%. So, yeah, making art, I mean, I could have just desperate struggled. I'm going crazy. I am tired. But it's because of, yes, game development, but also getting interested in basically making art for World of Horror custom content that I make, but also looking at other people's art, not just in World of Horror custom content, but also, nice 11 check on knowledge, by the way. Also, just in general, really. I did always want to just rely on writing and everything else other than art, but I mean, I figure it doesn't hurt being, I guess, not multi-talented, but being able to do more than one thing, if that makes any sense. I'm losing my words because I am tired, but I think you get where I'm getting at. So being able to deal with the art, being able to make music, which is by far my weakest, one of my weaker points, especially in the realms of just game development, in which you know, doing a lot of things. There's more than obviously just music, art, writing, and game design, but that's already a lot already. But you get the point. Just trying to be not an all-rounder either, but just knowing how to do everything is pretty helpful. That being said, I'm by far not a professional. That's not me being humble, that's just me being me. By the way, quick shopper, but we already did our shopping, so we'll take something, I guess. It's better than nothing. I don't remember if I have a knowledge check, so we're just gonna take strength. And I think why does my perception feel a lot lower than it is? Well, anywho, we'll take the handcuffs with us and move on. I need to check the lighthouse again because I forgot my checks. But more specifically, getting back to focusing on art. I've once made a distinction before in terms of how my art is, and if you've seen one of my posts on this channel in my discussion page, you would have seen the kind of art that I make. That being said, how do I want to word this? Also, just focusing on doing this encounter correctly. No, I'm not an artist, but I do my best. And again, I think a large part of it is because I just didn't want to rely on writing. Now, that's not to say that just writing in general can't get you anywhere. There are at least 2 prevalent examples of... nice 12 roll, by the way. There are at least 2 prevalent examples of RPG Maker games specifically that primarily relied on their writing until they got artists, pretty much. And that's a pretty common feature. Again, art is an interesting, I'm losing the word, not genre, profession to get into. And while it is nice to, would I trade off my ability to design a game for being able to make art? Depends, but most of the time the answer is, if you ask me that question, the answer is going to be no. I would still like... not the ability to design a game, or develop the game, depending. I like to focus on design, but basically making a game and making the gameplay good over art. That's just hard stop right there. That being said, that threshold is a bit. It's not a wide ravine or not a wide gap in terms of abilities I'd like to drop. I don't want to just drop the ability to to try and work and make okay art than being able to develop a game, design a game, balance a game, make sure it's fun, make sure it's engaging. I'm using all of these generic terms, but you get the point. Game development is still the most important thing in making games, hey, as it turns out. But as we enter the frightening fable of a feet fetish, of a feet fetish. I'm going crazy. Anyway, when he hears the police sirens outside of his apartment block, he realizes it's been 4 nights since it started. Someone is oofing young men and harvests their feet, leaving only their bloodied shoes behind. Putting on his shoes, he leaves the apartment in a hurry. Perhaps he'll be able to gather some clues about the murderous fetishes. The blinking lights around the corner and a small gathering of people confirms his worries. The latest victim died just outside his apartment block. Or at least the apartment block he occupies, because, hey, things. Anyway, gotta narrate. Harvest season, the crowd forms a solid mass of people that is hard to bypass. Peeking from above the crowd, he can see the blinking lights of the police car. But that's about it. I'm going crazy. Pushed away to the front. Fail a strength check because 10. His pushing through the people gains him some scolding and even anger from other bystanders, to the point one of the policemen approaches to investigate the disturbance. He quickly apologizes and leaves, losing one reason. In the morning, he feels like his best course of action is to head to the local school. He shouldn't have any trouble finding information about the dead boys. Perhaps there's something connecting them from than just their love for running, and I hope the robots already don't hurt me for this mystery and my narration. He carefully enters the biology classroom. The room seems empty at first until he switches the lights on. Gasp! It's a forgotten specimen. I just narrated that part, but I mean, you know. Things. So I think we just two-turn this. Yeah, let's just two-turn this. We should be able to two-turn this. Please tell me I also filled my water in the bath, but hey. Keeping in mind, so that, again, for those who don't know, essentially all of the art in this custom mystery so far has been just base art, but that's just, I mean, you normally wouldn't notice that unless it's something you see very, very often. Even if you play World of War a lot, it's easy to forget a lot of the... I was wondering if I wanted to carry the lump of flesh in. A lot of graphics in World of War, unless you see it very, 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 very frequently. Several of the boys were part of the school's track and field team, which was preparing for the regional championships. Now, of course, Shiokawa isn't going to be represented this year. Their teacher, Miss Alshita, is apparently very invested in finding the murderer. She isn't at school today, but perhaps someone could give him her address. As we investigate the school once more to find it. He thanks the janitor for the address and leaves the school. Miss Alshita's home has its entry open to a side street, but as he approaches the building, he can't help but feel like he's being watched from a nearby house? Downtown? Double witness curse, by the way, but hey. Nosy old man. He frowns when he looks into one of the windows of the adjacent house and spots a peeping Tom. An elderly man is intensely glaring at him, his brows furrowed in disapproval stare back. He glares back at him and he quickly draws the curtain quickly draws the curtain to a... curtain closed? I don't know. Miss Alshita sure has weird neighbors. Oh, here she is. Miss Alshita is looking a bit winded. He must have caught her mid-exercise. He introduces himself, explaining that he's investigating the recent murders. Those poor boys, she says mournfully. I knew them by name and by heart, but what's in it for you, eh? You know, I'm an athlete myself. That's because of... Nope, I'm going crazy. Hey, but we passed the strength check. Oh really now? Miss Alshita puts him through a whole training routine, giving extra time for leg stretches and feet exercise. At the end of it, he's invigorated and motivated and feels like he could take on the whole world. That's the spirit, Miss Alshita says with a smile, clearly impressed. +5 experience, +1 stamina, and a level up. Oh, so we have, yeah, discipline? We have the military training on top of stuff, but we don't need the ammo because, well, we're not using a fire weapon. Fire weapon? I'm going crazy. Firearm weapon. Anyways... You might think I'm crazy, but I've heard this weird story about feet-cutting demons. How would you say that? Anyway, you get the point. Once. I don't believe such stories myself, but it's food for thought, no? He thanks Miss Alshita for her time and leaves. Feet-cutting demon. Hopefully he can find something about it in the city library. Feet-cutting demon. Yeah, that's right, but it was the previous form of that was confusing me. Previous phrase. Previous paragraph. There's nothing about any feet-cutting demons in the library. What little information he gleaned has to do with the idea of a dead person haunts those in their profession a generation later. The high school has memorial displays. Perhaps there's a track and field athlete that died violently? Could their vengeful ghost be murdering others in anguish? So let's investigate this quarter and find out. Memorial book. He quietly takes the memorial book from the shelf and flips it open. Starting from the beginning, the earliest memorial is of a junior who drowned in the school's gym in 1954, 30 years ago. It takes him a whole hour to go through the whole book and back again. There were a few tragically deceased athletes in the history of the Shiokawa High School, but none of them from the track and field team. The vengeful spirit theory falls flat. Forenoon. With a sigh, he's on the verge of surrendering. He decides it's time for the classic approach of desperation. Ask random teenagers if they know anything about the recent string of murders. I was looking at something. Yeah, my body. This can't be healthy. Stamina. My friend was complaining that Miss Alshita was getting too friendly, quote-unquote, with him, one of the boys says. You catch my drift? I mean, she's twice our age. He kept saying she liked his legs or something or like that. He doesn't have to listen to it any further. Little wonder Miss Alshita didn't tell him this before. You, him? Door to truth. Approaching Miss Alshita's home, he notices that it's dark inside, except a rather foreboding red light coming from the living room. He grabs the door's handle, and to his surprise, he realizes it's open. Get in. He steps inside the house, grimacing when a foul odor hits his nostrils. From the red-lit living room, he can hear Miss Alshita giggling and whispering to someone. He peeks from behind the doorframe, barely withholding a startled gasp. Miss Alshita is kneeling in front of a shrine, but instead of a centerpiece, there's 2 rows of feet in various stages of decomposition. The Mona Lisa! What are you doing? Don't have second sight. He stands there sickened as Miss Alshita picks one of the dismembered feet and gives its blackened toes a flick of her tongue. Oh, my darlings, I think we have a special guest tonight. He shudders and takes a step, and I also shudder in real life. And steps back as he watches the perverted teacher stand up and turns to him. You know, your feet look quite lovely. Oh no, like the Mona Lisa! He runs to the entrance door only to find it locked. Miss Alshita giggles, raising a nasty-looking sickle up. Hey, love struck by feet. A 27 HP, -1 all encounter, by the way. Pretty standard. Keeping in mind that we also have scars, so this probably would have been -2 all. Yes, you would lose stamina and reason for fighting this. Anyway, we're gonna gamble a little bit, but I think we don't need to throw the empty bottle. In fact, we get to desperate struggle anyway, so let's just move on. Actually, I should have dodged, but too late now. So, take this desperate prep army knife to your sickle. Much to his horror, Miss Alshita slowly lifts herself from the floor. Oh, that hurt, but I can't be brought down by this easily, honey. She licks her blood-stained lips, her wide-open eyes fixed on him. Now, why won't you make it easier for both of us? Surrender your... The door slams open. Freeze! A throng of policemen floods the house, and several of them rush to Miss Alshita, pinning her to the ground. Screaming and flailing, she tries to fight them off, but is finally subdued by the policemen while another helps him out of the house. Miss Alshita's gurgling screams and my sandals beneath me, quieting down beneath us. An older gentleman from an adjacent house reported a disturbance. He was actually good all along, the policeman explains, looking to the side. Given the recent string of murders, we've decided to arrive in force. Good thing we did, really. Months later, another policeman leaves the house startled and starts screaming. The house is full of feet! This woman is the feet-cutting killer we've been looking for. Following her trial, Miss Alshita is quickly put on death row to the silent satisfaction of the victims' families, with no chance to jump back in time. His beloved hometown will be a little bit, or everyone's beloved hometown will be a little bit more peaceful from now on. But is it enough to save it? Hey, ending A. But anyway, we get a crimson moon at the dawn, dusk of that mystery, and off we go. I was gonna say something, but I forgot what I was gonna say. So off we go to either mermaids or cult. Never mind, cult. This could be a very bad cult, but we'll find out. We have scars, so that undoes the damage increase on the 4th mystery onward. But hey, but yeah, that was a mystery. No second sight, so that would be at least at base if you're just working with base characters. Kyrie and certain... I know there's at least 2 custom characters I played with second sight, but... Shrug! But anyway. Maybe it was the work of demons, but as we say what and grab this follower because we roll a 12 on a charisma check, that actually works for us. Again, one of the few moments you really might want to fail a check. But anywho, I mean, my charisma could be at 11. I'm going to say what in that event, just so we can try to skip the boss here. So, let's guarantee the strong and gamble on the regular attack, and then we move on. I should have just done a 2 normal attacks, but again, my mind is going crazy because I'm a bit tired. The reason why I'm tired is also because the past, again, related to art, the past 12-ish hours, 12 to 18 hours, on top of just horse racing with summer forms of characters, I've also been reviewing the art I've made, which is why I wanted to talk about art. Not that I've said anything amazing, but I figure throwing in some art just to, if nothing else, laugh at it, but also to try it out is better than nothing at all. Not that I haven't done it before. Again, I have made smaller games with like art, if nothing else, It's the, I forgot to check the lighthouse again. I'm just gonna increase knowledge to be safe. But, yeah, I've made basically thumbnail art for, main screen art and thumbnail art for my own games, but it's not anything interesting, and in fact, I've always found myself, trying to do the best of what I've got. Let's just say that. And I can't think of the correct phrases because I'm a bit tired. Even though I've survived this run, 65% Doom on your last mystery, you're doing really, really well. Now, again, this always comes with a disclaimer, if the part guest allows me to move on with this run. That comes with the disclaimer that your Doom can just increase by like 12 during a mystery, or 20 during a mystery, and then you're suddenly in trouble because at the lighthouse, any bad things can happen. You fail like your second encounter check, then Takshi-san slaps you twice, branded procs, and suddenly you're trying to crawl up the lighthouse before Doom hits 100%. But as we take our reason healing here, I forgot I think ignore him is just an event skip? I don't know. But anywho, probably should not have traded stamina there. Also should have used these cigarettes earlier, but it's fine for the moment. We'll still be able to rest at the lighthouse again, and unless a tragedy happens, we should be relatively fine. Also, keep in mind we do have discipline, and we also have, well, this old coin, but also we have this we have Doom. I was gonna say something different, but I can't remember. Hey, we get to skip burns. We get a time skip, and there you go. Yeah, so a time skip, 20 Doom would have put us in a very precarious situation, but thankfully that didn't happen. So off we go. So I'm not gonna remember. Oh, by the way, I overhealed. By the way, yeah, strength, charisma, dexterity. So we did a dexterity check. Could have increased our dexterity to 8, but the strength was still arguably important. That being said, we should be fine. It's just a bit unfortunate that Takshi-san comes first. Didn't pick up the handcuffs either, but we don't really care because we should be able to just do a Tetsumaku Senpu Kyaku with the army knife and be perfectly fine. Now, unless we miss all 3 attacks, then we're in a bit of trouble. But even with that, Scars lowering Takshi-san's Doom to 2, it does wonders. But yeah, I don't remember my second encounter either, so shrug. But anywho, yeah, I really don't remember. I think the Glitch Magician was first. I don't remember anything else. I think it might have been. I think it was the -1 encounter that with the picture of someone looking behind them. And if that was it, then I remembered correctly out of the blue. You just have to take me at my word that when I say I didn't guess. But anywho, moving on. Also, let me know if I played this character twice already, or I played this character in the series already. I mean, I might do another video, but if so, then it's very likely I just move on to the next character. But yeah, without further ado, not much else to say. If you have any other suggestions, concerns, criticism, comments, then please let me know. Otherwise, I won't take up much more of your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!